Hey guys, welcome back to Root Recovery. Today we are going to be putting our first things in the ground, or at least in some pots, for the season. Granted, that was quite a while ago. We're sitting at the beginning of July. This is actually going into July 4th weekend. So I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday weekend. We're gonna go ahead and plant some medicinal and culinary herbs today, as well as top our pepper plants off so that they're good to be a little bit bushier and prolific this season. Hoping that that actually works. But let's get right into it. All right, so a few things have changed out here, as you may be able to tell. I should have already posted a video about putting up the trellis here, but if I haven't posted that yet, ta-da! Everything is looking pretty good. Garlic is looking fantastic. These are some broccolis that my mom gave me. Some cabbages that I planted that are really behind. My cabbages didn't do too well in the greenhouse this year for whatever reason. Carrots looking pretty good, and our beets are looking pretty great as well. I actually had to move the table bed into this little kind of ground bed that I constructed, and I'm going to be having to put up a gutter up here so that all the runoff can go into the two rain barrels as opposed to directly into the bed, because it obviously kind of destroys it. And then I also moved the greenhouse out here so that all of the rest of the seedlings can get kind of acclimated to the conditions out here so that planting goes much more smoothly. But I got all my peppers and tomatoes out here, as well as our basil up here. So that's that. So right now I'm going to be planting some marigolds, as well as our dill and our cilantro. A lot of these seeds were actually collected from last year's harvest, so when everything went to seed, I basically just took it and stored it in some bags and jars, so that way we could just use it to produce more next year. So I do marigolds in kind of like the in-between spaces in both of these beds as a pest repellent, and then the dill and cilantro they normally do pretty well just anywhere. I'm going to put some cilantro. I think I'm going to do cilantro in the pepper bed and then dill with the tomatoes, but we'll see. Whatever kind of fits into the places that I still have remaining. Cilantro seeds have a planting depth of 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Seed spacing doesn't really necessarily matter, being that they're small stalks, but they do typically germinate between 7 and 14 days. So you can see I kind of just hand dug a little patch here, sprinkled them in, and then covered with the residual soil that had already been pulled away. Dill is very similar to that of cilantro. It has a planting depth of 1/4 to 1/2 inch, germination of about 10 to 14 days, so it does take a little bit longer, but basically I just did this the same way I did the cilantro. Dill is not very picky, and it's also pretty prolific wherever you put it. I can speak to that, as I do have quite a bit of dill and cilantro on my hand as of now. And now for our marigolds. So marigolds are a little bit more picky, I guess you could say, in terms of how they sprout, but you plant them a little bit shallower, so 1/8 to 1/4 inch deep. I did pretty much the same method I did for the dill and cilantro, which is completely fine. They do like a little bit of light in order to germinate, which is a very flower thing to do. But honestly, I didn't really use any different care than I did with the dill and cilantro, and they did just fine. So you should be good. But most of these are harvested from last year's marigolds, so that's pretty cool. The seeds that I'm using here obviously are not. I purchased those. But a lot of the ones that I ended up spreading, I took from last year's marigolds that I really liked. So that was cool. And obviously with anything we plant in the ground, indoors, in our greenhouse, seedling germination, you just want to go ahead and water very thoroughly right after you plant, so that way that seed, that little seed, has a chance to germinate. So now it's time for our tea herbs, flowers, and some rhubarb. Planting all of these in individual pots, as some of them are a little bit more prolific, or like they'll take over a space, and I don't want to quite put them in the raised beds for that purpose. Also for the fact that they don't get weeded out. I think they're weeds when they're coming out. Just so that they can have their own kind of pot to dwell in and thrive in. It's a little bit easier to control their environment, as well as the amount of sun that they're seeing. If they're not doing well in one area, I can certainly move them to a different area. Being that I've never grown anything like these before, I just want to be able to maintain their lifespan as best I can. Some of them require a little bit of trimming back each time that they bloom in order to remain that they still are producing. So yeah, we're gonna get right into that. Chamomile is great for sleep, digestion, and soothing your skin. Dandelion root and leaves can be used to promote liver and digestive health. Bee balm can be used in healing teas as well as on skin irritations. And lemon balm is a great sleep and stress support. So the lemon balm packet was a little bit different from the rest of them. It had this tiny little sachet with the teeny tiny little seeds in it. So I was like freaking out about where they were, but it was right there the whole time. Duh. Now we're gonna do some potatoes since we're out here and we have a few inside that have some eyes. So I got this potato bag from my mom. I think she got them on Amazon. Also gonna top a few of my peppers just because the Thai chilies are already trying to flower, and this will help them be a little bit bushier, more prolific. It's kind of like a hard thing to do because they look so lush right now and you don't really want to, you know, change that too much, but it is a good thing to do in terms of your production for your peppers. So I'm going to top a few of the ones that are ready to get topped. Sorry. And then, yeah, that'll be it for today, really. Again, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Hope you have a wonderful 4th of July weekend. Stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Sayonara!